Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and I'm an energetics and inner work teacher. And today I wanted to share a very special piece of my life with you guys. Just a foundational way of thinking and belief that I have that has really changed my life for the good, and I didn't want to keep it all to myself and keep living this good life all by myself. Although I know there's others like me out there, but I wanted to share this because it might already be a belief you hold, but when I took this belief to the next level, that's when things really did level up in my life. And I wanted to share this with you because you don't want to keep this good stuff to yourself. When you find something out that's so good, so profound, something that's life-changing, you really do want to share it because you don't want all the happiness only for yourself. You want everyone to experience this happiness, this joy, this good. So I'm going to give a little background story first, how I came to this belief I have. I would call it a truth of mine. I don't want to get into today and in this video what is truth and different levels of truth. I do want to be clear that this is my truth. And what I mean by that is it's something that I have come to believe in my life. And I would never go around and say, this is the ultimate truth and this is true for everybody. And it might be true for everybody, but this type of belief, you really need to come to this on your own. It can't just be because someone tells you. You have to really resonate with it, and you have to come to this belief system on your own and make it your truth because you want it to be authentic. You want it to be real. You don't want to tell yourself that you believe something that you don't really believe. You want to be authentic. And if you don't really believe it, that is totally fine. I would definitely encourage you to come to your own truths, to really believe the things that you really believe because they are going to serve you. And by the way, some things that we believe, they do not serve us, and it's really worth it to think about that. The things that are kind of going against us, and to, question if we need to hold on to this belief or not. But this belief I'm going to give you, this truth of mine, it has upgraded and shifted my life so much. And if it's something that can help you in your life, I would love you to take hold of it and to live this way. So let's go back to when I was little Jessica. For as long as I can remember, I had some type of a belief in God, a higher power. I'm aware this may have just been passed down from my family. I did grow up in a Catholic family. I did go to Catholic school. It's just, I know that from when, I was small. I feel like I was 4 or 5, talking to God. I would think I'm having conversations with God in my head. I would ask questions and get answers. And I always believed I was talking to God because that's the word that was given to me through my upbringing, my religious background that I had, all that. So that's the word I used. And I know that word can be really triggering. And at one point in my life, it was also really triggering. And I'm really sorry if it is triggering, but it's just I have to express my story the way it goes, the way I tell it, because that's the way it goes. I remember when I was little thinking that I was talking to God. And I went to Catholic school, and I had a lot of questions about God because the God that I was connected to inside was very loving, like a loving infinite intelligence. Like the love and the intelligence kept going. There wasn't a limit. That was my interpretation as a child, as an innocent child. And in Catholic school, the God they teach you about is very different than the God I knew in my heart. The God they were preaching and talking about, to me, resembled a man, an egoic, angry, judgeful man. And, I often had questions about this, and I didn't receive many answers from my teachers, from my priests. They don't like little girls asking too many questions. So I actually did stray away from the Catholic faith as a teenager, because the fact that somebody like a priest couldn't answer simple questions told me that maybe they don't even know why they believe what they believe. That, Catholics, from my perspective, they're very ritualistic and dogmatic, and it's like somebody told them to do something and they don't question it, they just do it. And I just can't operate that way. Even when I was a kid, I need to know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I can't just do something blindly. And, telling a kid or telling me, just do it and just believe, like that was, that was really hard, because the God I knew in my heart, if I asked a question, I got an answer. God never told me, just do this and don't ask questions. Again, like, that's such a human thing to say. So I went seeking for God in different religions. And even I went seeking the reality that maybe God does not exist at all. This higher power that I once knew as a child, maybe it didn't exist at all, because the world was trying to tell me something different. And I remember thinking, there's no way I could know. I'm just a kid. All these adults are smarter than me. So there's no way what I know to be true could be true. And what everyone else was teaching did not feel like the God I knew in my heart. So I even went through a period where I believed in nothing, because it didn't make sense to me. But that didn't last for long either, because I knew there's something bigger. It's just a knowing I had. So I got on a bit more of a spiritual journey, and that was more connected to myself. And the reason I loved my spiritual journey is because the beliefs and understandings I came to were my personal understandings. And one of my favorite teachers right now, Kathleen Cameron, she said, when she speaks about God, she says a God of your understanding. And I really love how she says that, because even how I am expressing what I thought God was or what I think God is, it's my understanding. It's not the ultimate truth. It's my understanding. And it really only needs to make sense to me. And what you believe to be true about Source, God, or maybe you just believe in the universe, it has to make sense to you. It doesn't matter how it makes sense to me. So my spiritual journey was really great for that, where I understood God in the way I did, and it made sense to me, and that's all I needed. But along my spiritual journey, you understand there's a soul. This became apparent to me when I first saw a dead body, my grandmother, and I've seen all my grandparents alive in their body and with no life in the body. And to me, the understanding of a soul was very true and real to me, because the body without the soul, without the life force, it was completely different. Like, I would even say, that's not my nonna, that's not my mamere, that's not them. Because who they are was bigger. They were bigger than just the body. Like, when the body is empty, it's not the same. So I learned of the soul, of like the life force energy that goes through us all. And so, then I had an understanding that we are, a human, and we have spiritual experiences. And that belief ended up flipping around quite quickly, where I had a deeper realization, no, no, no. You are the soul having a human experience. You know, I've heard, there were so many times I heard teachers talking about, preaching about, or even asking you to seek, who are you? Who are you actually? And I never wanted to go down that path. It didn't interest me. It even seemed kind of boring. And the other issue with it is you kind of think you already know who you are, but you don't really know who you are unless you really seek, especially on a deeper level, because as Shrek said, you know, it's not just ogres. We are like, we are layered like onions as well. We are not just one thing. We are also layered. We are not one thing. We are more than one thing. And that can be really tricky for the mind to grasp, because the mind is a very this or that type of mechanism. That is how it understands things. It categorizes things and separates them. So it's hard to understand, for example, that like the conclusion that I came to, that you are a soul having a human experience, that a human being is a soul and a human integrated together. It's not one or the other. It is both. In fact, it's more than, but when I say both, it almost sounds like there's just two. It's more than two. There's levels to it, right? So, you know, it was really deep and profound learning that I am a soul having a human experience. But where things got really good, this is what I wanted to make this video for, is when I started to remember this every day. So when I first remembered or tuned into the fact that I am a soul having a human experience, that felt really good, because it gave a lot of purpose and meaning to my life and like why I might be here. It's like, oh, okay, like there's something bigger here. It's not just everything you see in front of you. There's something bigger and deeper here. And that was really cool. And, you know, as I would live my life, I would forget about it, right? Like you go to work and you forget that you are a soul having a human experience. Like it's almost like you just resonate with that and think it's true when you're hearing a teaching about it. Or, you know, maybe if you go to church, you really believe you are connected to God when you are at church. And then when you're not at church, you forget about it. But where things got really good in my life was when I started to remember this every day. And I was remembering it every day when I woke up, and I wanted to remember it because when I lived my days, my everyday life, remembering that I am a soul having a human experience, all those days were like really good days. Like when you remember a truth like this and then go to say good morning to your loved ones, it's a real loving good morning, you know? Or when you remember you were a soul having a human experience and you're just out walking your dog, you're gonna have the best walk and smile at everybody. When you remember that you were a soul having a human experience and you go to work, you'll do a really good job, because you'll realize you're something great and you are capable of great things, and you'll do a really great job. And you don't even need to think about it. Like you don't need to think, oh, I am a soul and I'm gonna do a good job. No. When you remember that you are the soul having a human experience, you automatically do a good job, because you are living from this higher place, from this higher level. And when you remember this every day and this compounds and you can't forget about it anymore, like I can't forget anymore. Like I every day remember that I am a soul having a human experience. And this has compounded, and every day is actually better, where it's like every day is the best day. Every day I'm living an amazing day. Even when something so-called negative or down happens, it all honestly it doesn't feel like a big deal, because when you are living from the place where you remember that you are a soul having a human experience, and somebody cuts you off in traffic, or you lost some money, or a loved one says something that is negative, it doesn't impact you the same way. Like naturally. That is the compounded effect. And you have the best day of your life every day. And I don't mean when I say the best day that every day is going to be this like extreme high. It could be actually. Like I feel very high and up there all the time. I'm always smiling for no reason. I don't know. I hope I don't bug people. Like I can't get the smile off my face. Like I'm just filled with joy and happiness, because to know this deeper truth, it's like nothing can get to me, nothing can hurt me. I still have human experiences. I want to be clear, because I am still a human. I am having a human experience. So I'm not saying I don't have low points and stuff like that, but what I'm saying is when you remember that you're a soul having a human experience and you have a low point, it's never going to be as low as when you forget that you are the soul. Because to me, the soul is a piece of God. To me, how I have come to understand this truth of mine, which I hope it's a truth of yours too, because it's a beautiful truth. It's a beautiful way of living. But to me, God, source, the universe, it is the power and the energy that's fueling it all, you know? When I've seen people alive and then the body without the life force energy in it, it's different. And it was the life force that made the human being. Otherwise, it's like just this empty vessel. The human being is the human being because it has the life force energy powering it. What is that life force energy? I call that God. I call it source. I call it the universe. There's so many different names. They may mean different things to you. But it's like if I could use an example, God, source, the universe is like the ocean, and the drops and the waves are the separate souls that are incarnated here within all these bodies. So I believe the soul is of God. I believe the soul is a little piece of God, and that is you. You are a little piece of God incarnated in this body and having this experience. And, you know, if you remembered every day of your life that you are of God, you are of God. You are God. You are this little piece of the all that is, having this human experience. How could you not have a good day every day, even if there was some shit to your day? It's like it wouldn't matter. The shit doesn't matter anymore when you're living from this bigger place. And especially when you really believe it to be true, because, you know, when I first heard this, it really resonated with me and it felt really good. But like, you'll just kind of continue your life and your days and you'll forget. But like, what if you don't forget? You know, what if you don't forget? What if you remembered every day that you are of God, that you are a soul having a human experience, and you're here for a reason and for a purpose? And what if you operated from that place every day? What if you interacted with your family and your friends from that place every day? What if you went to work from that place every day? What if interacted with your partner, your husband or wife, boyfriend or girlfriend, knowing that. And then imagine that's, a day here, a day there. Then imagine compounded days, months, and years of you living this way. You will have the best life because you are living a life from such a high place. There's no higher place to live than this place. Well, I mean, I'm still living my life, so I've realized as I go and I keep finding these big truths, I keep finding more. So maybe there is a higher place. But right now I feel like I'm living from this really high place. I'm filled with so much love, joy, gratitude, authenticity every day. And I live this way every day. And I remember this every day. I'm literally having the best day of my life every day. And then some days you have like really, really high good days. And you can really, when you're living from this place, you can take that in. If you haven't healed and done your inner work, you may not be able to really hold the joy of life or be authentic or be in the gratitude you want to be in, because you have some things you need to shed and let go of. But, when you really get to know yourself and who you are, and if you authentically come to this conclusion and then start living this way, every day is the best day of your life. And it just keeps getting better. Like, it just keeps getting better. And I want everyone to feel this. So, what I wanted to share was that along my journey, I learned that I am the soul having a human experience. And I remember this every day. And remembering this every day helps me live my best life, helps me be in love, in gratitude, in patience. It helps me be authentic. It helps me have the best relationships. It helps with everything. And I'm not doing anything on purpose. It just, when life unfolds from you living from this place, you will just get the best of life because it's such a high place to live from. And I want to share this with anybody that resonates with this and that wants to get on this with me. And, a lot of you may have heard this and it resonates and you do think it's true or you do believe it's true. But imagine living your life every day where you remember this is true. Imagine if every day you remember this is true, what kind of life you would be living. And how do you remember this every day? You set that intention. How did I remember it every day? I had to keep remembering that I want to remember this and not forget. Okay? I love you guys. We'll chat next time, okay?